going to be a really landmark day in the future of not just our college, but our community, our region. This is an extension of what we do here in this region. People have talked about what the college has done and where we are going and what we're doing and how we're changing. We've received some recognitions and honors for innovation and entrepreneurship. But the thing that I always think about when I hear those things, those conversations, is that none of it would be even remotely possible without partnerships. And that's what I love so much about being in the Commonwealth of Kentucky and being in this particular region of our great Commonwealth, is the way we all work together. County lines don't divide us, they join us. Party lines aren't even mentioned when we're talking about the common good. Today is a day we're going to announce another partnership with the Family Scholar House that is going to be unlike many of the others, because it is 100% focused on lifting up individuals and families to success and being dogged in that approach and accepting nothing less than their success, so that every year and every generation forward, a new cycle has begun for that family. I often talk about our college has a mission to not just break cycles. We don't want to just break cycles, we want to start new ones. And I can tell you that in every sense of that very mission, the Family Scholar House aligns perfectly. And in fact, their CEO, Kathy Dykstra, within about 15 minutes of meeting her, I wanted to A-B her. I can't do that, but and I wanted to work with her. So today is very special for me. It's very special for this college, and as you all are going to see, it is very special for this region. So without further ado, we'll get started here, but I would like to begin by recognizing that the timing of this is pretty cool, because this is National Apprenticeship Week and National Career Development Week. And when you think about those two things, you know, that's speaking to the future. When you're talking about apprenticeships and career development, that's the strength of a community, the strength of a workforce, and the strength of our future. So as we are celebrating those initiatives, we're going to announce this partnership that feeds right into that. I would like, because we've got several people in the room, too many to mention by name, if you wouldn't mind, all elected officials, please stand. We do appreciate you all being here, because when we talk about this partnership, it's truly a partnership across all parties, across all aisles, and working together is how we accomplish things like this. So, to tell us more about this partnership and where we're going, and the Family Scholar House, we are very blessed to have Ms. Kathy Dykstra with us here today. Kathy, I received her bio, and it's so impressive that I can't even pronounce some of the words. So Kathy said, you know me well enough to just introduce me, so I'm going to do that. Kathy is one of the most accomplished people I have ever met, and her biography is certainly impressive. But she's also one of the most beautiful, sincere, amazing people I've ever met in what she does and how she does it. And her approach is something that is infectious and contagious, and it has led to the growth of something truly special with the Family Scholar House. Ladies and gentlemen, Kathy Dykstra.
Thank you, Dr. Pate, for that very kind introduction. The bio is a whole lot of gobbledygook, and I'd much rather you know that I care deeply about the well-being of communities and of our families. It is a pleasure to be here this afternoon to share and celebrate our special announcement, and it is an honor to have Governor Beshear join us to recognize our partnership. For those of you not familiar with Family Scholar House, I'd like to provide a brief overview. Our organization was originally founded by representatives of 6 orders of nuns, not by the orders, not by the Catholic Church, but by 6 individual women leaders, all of whom had been educators, and all of whom recognized the power of education to improve the lives of mothers and their children. Our mission is not only to end poverty, but also to transform communities by empowering students, families, and youth to succeed in education and achieve lifelong self-sufficiency. That includes workforce development and support for career entry and advancement. It includes providing our professional staff for coaching, advocacy, connection to resources, problem solving, and always, always encouragement. Our headquarters are in Louisville, a short drive from here, where we have 5 campuses of affordable housing that together are home to 279 households, with all adults in post-secondary programs, all children in age-appropriate education, and all members of these households in our care. Even with 5 campuses, we have a long pre-residential waiting list. To date, our residential graduates have earned 638 college degrees.
Wow.
And that includes an MD, a JD, 2 doctors of nursing practice, the mayor of Snow Hill, Maryland, and our first special agent in the FBI. Almost all of these now graduates started their education in the community college. Opportunities provided, goals fulfilled, dreams realized. 81% have exited to full-time stable employment, with others balancing part-time work with graduate studies. Most of our children are little, yet 64 of the children from our residential families have gone on to college because education has become a family value. For us, post-secondary education includes the full array of options, from credentialing and apprenticeships to associates, bachelor's degrees, and graduate studies. Our work with apprenticeships has led to us being a subcontractor for the U.S. Department of Labor, so that apprentices across the country have our team for the times when life gets in the way of their progress. Currently, we are serving just under 30,000 households across 23 states, with half of those folks in Kentucky, and that is the fastest growing group. You see, we are a Kentucky nonprofit. We live here in Kentucky, and we are called to help fellow Kentuckians in our state. Support from Governor Beshear and the Commonwealth of Kentucky has greatly expanded our outreach, allowing us to help more students and families across the state. What we know to be true is that 2/3 of community college students are part-time, and 1/4 are raising children. They are juggling responsibilities and balancing priorities on a daily basis. When students stop out or drop out, it is rarely because of the coursework or the on-the-job training, but most often because of life. A new baby, a sick parent, lack of childcare, inadequate technology, medical or financial emergency, no place to live. In these situations, Family Scholar House is available to help, providing resources and support and supplementing the efforts of the college. One of the things that marks how this partnership is unique is that we normally meet students after they have dropped out or failed and need help figuring out if and how to start again. But working in concert with Elizabethtown Community and Technical College gives us a chance to intervene before a student has been derailed from their path and provide resources to all students to promote their persistence, program retention, and degree completion. Our virtual response center is available 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday Eastern Time, making outbound calls on behalf of the college and employers, and taking inbound calls from anyone who needs us. We connect students first to the resources available at the college, then to resources available in the community, and if the need is still unmet, we step in to use our resources to help. We want to ensure that anyone in need of receiving benefits is getting everything for which they are eligible, and if not, we want to help them sign up. All of our activities and interactions are tracked in our secure database so that we can use the information to learn, meet emerging needs, and track the economic impact of this work. Even with 25 years of experience, we are still learning and evolving to serve our community. So why are we here in Elizabethtown? Well, the simple answer is because when we offered an opportunity for a partnership, Dr. Pate said yes. We began working with Elizabethtown Community and Technical College on July 26th, this July 26th. Initially, our response center coordinator and team led outbound calls to students to get them enrolled, help them complete the FAFSA, ensure that they were getting the government benefits for which they are eligible, and check on them as they started the new academic term. But it has become so much more. It took less than 2 weeks for Dr. Pate and his leadership team to see proof of concept and begin to look at ways to create a true partnership for student success. The warm welcome that we have received extends beyond the college and includes local employers and community leaders. The enthusiasm and engagement have been unprecedented. This is particularly uplifting because we know that when we all work together, we all benefit, and caring for each other is always the right thing to do. The best way to understand the impact of the innovative partnership between ECTC and Family Scholar House is to hear from a student that has been helped. We are especially fortunate to have with us this afternoon Nicole Livingston, an ECTC student eager to share her experience. Please join me in welcoming Nicole.
So as they said, I am Nicole Livingston. I'm a student here at ECTC. Please forgive me if I'm a little nervous. I'm very glad, however, to be here and to share this program. It is really important.
Can she hold it? There we go. Sorry.
You're okay.
Good work. Thanks, Brad. Yeah, sorry.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So earlier this year, I made a decision to get back in school. I enrolled in ECTC somewhere around July. My interests are in business, psychology, and sociology. Ultimately, I do hope to have opportunities to be able to make a difference and be the answer for some of the younger generation. Just like the Family Scholar House has become the answer for me. I know they have already impacted so many lives before me, and they will continue to do so for countless many more. Earlier in the fall term, I found myself facing a lot of challenges at home and in my classes technology is not my strong suit and not always easy for me. Having an old desktop at home that wasn't the most up to date only complicated things that much more for me. So, on top of it all, we have COVID, preventing anyone from ECTC that had the desire to come and support me at home from being able to actually do that. So, my internet wasn't the best either. I think I've said enough of what I wasn't able to do. As a student in online classes, I had thoughts of just dropping out. It was all too much for me. And I realized I needed help. This was difficult, very humbling. I was able to find the courage to speak the words that exposed my needs. Okay. I thought that it was the result of contacting various ECTC support staff that one day I received a call from a really nice person. She was checking on me, and she wanted to understand what was going on with me and how my enrollment status was at ECTC. I was a little taken aback, pleased but nervous. That phone call was from a resource specialist at Family Scholar House. And this was their response center. I shared my circumstances and she listened to me. She asked questions to be sure that I was getting the benefits that were available to me that I wasn't even aware of. She also wanted to see how she could help me, so that I would stay in school. One thing that she suggested was, if I had a Chromebook, it would be a lot easier to do my online coursework. She also told me about the EBB, which is the emergency broadband benefit. That would help me have better internet by covering most or all of the costs. It turns out this was more than just a suggestion. Understanding my situation, the response team leaped into action. Kind of like this just did. So I shared my circumstances, and in doing so, they delivered to me a Chromebook. I was so taken aback. It was new. I was really taken aback. Then they also let me know that if I needed help signing up for the EBB, that they would assist me in that as well. They didn't just give me the website. They told me they'd walk me through it. The specialist also told me about other resources that ECTC would have that would benefit me. But since I didn't have reliable transportation, I didn't really have a way to go to the college to take advantage of them, to get any assistance with any of my classes, tutoring. Once again, the response center at Family Scholar House. They made it possible for me to have transportation so that 3 times a week, I have a ride to come to the school here at ECTC and get the support and assistance I need and the tutoring that I need to get caught up and to stay focused and to remain in school. For the rest of this semester, I have transportation. I'm not going to get emotional. I'm going to finish this. Some of the other ways that they have offered support to me are through professional clothing. So, it helped me with a lot of they helped me with basic needs as well. And the fact that there's a whole group of really valuable, supportive people. They exist. And they like to talk to you and ask you questions. And when I asked a question, they had an answer. If they didn't have it, they found it and called me back. Once again, I can't say enough that Family Scholar House made a difference in my ability to not only have the courage to stay in school, but to actually be able to be productive and complete assignments and catch up and feel good about myself. I saved their number, by the way, to my phone so that I can have it handy and not just so that I can call them and keep calling them, right? We understand that it is important to be humble and remain humble, even as you are gifted, even as you are blessed, and I understand that. I kept their number and saved it so that when they called, I would know Family Scholar House was on the line. Stop what you're doing, answer the phone. So it was very difficult to talk about my problems or even admit that I needed help. However, I found that the resource specialists listened to my problems. I have to say that over and over. They took the time to solve them one by one so that I could have the chance to get the education I needed for the career that I wanted to pursue. Ultimately, what I really want is for my children, my 5 young kings. They are strong and they look to me. They understand wisdom and they look to me at their wisdom. I want to be able to show them that wisdom understands that wisdom still leads more wisdom. My special friend, Charles, my love, my heart, he's been so instrumental in the early stages of my decision to actually return to school. And for him to see me succeed would mean everything to me. As I stand here today, I'm realizing that I'm actually proud of me, like me. When they asked me if I would speak today, I said yes. I wasn't even sure what I was saying yes to, but it was for Scholar House, so I wouldn't do it. I wanted other students and those thinking about signing up for classes to know that the Family Scholar House exists, like they really exist. And they are here to provide the support to those that need it. And for others to know that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay. When things get tough, I remind myself that I am in the class of 2023. And that my young 5 kings are watching their mother get a college degree despite all of the challenges. That my special friend, my heart, Charles, will gain another level of respect while realizing that his love and support did not go unnoticed. This is my goal, and I know that I can say, without a doubt, that I have the necessary support to take it one step at a time to get where I'm going. Thank you, family.
I'm not going now.
Governor, I'm glad you're speaking next.
Yeah, I thought Kathy was my friend.
I mean, one more time, please. As she was leaving the podium, I wanted some words, something I could say to her to capture what she just, the only thing I could come up was, you're awesome. That's all I had, and I mean it, you are awesome. You are what this is all about. And what you are going to do next is really what this is all about. God bless you. Well, folks, it occurred to me as I was sitting there before I got completely lost in your speech, that our next speaker is not here because of any public commitment or role as governor of the Commonwealth. This is not anything that is benefiting him politically, financially, any of those things. He's here because he cares about this program. He knows this program and he cares. And there is nothing more powerful than caring in this world. So it is with great pleasure that I will read this biography and introduce our governor. Well, I don't know you well enough to say, exactly what I said about Kathy, but here's what I will say. I've had the chance to meet Governor Andy Beshear just a few times, and everything that he does with a caring heart. The way he leads, the way he makes decisions, and the way he listens. And I appreciate all of those things about you and what you bring to our Commonwealth. And certainly do appreciate you being here. Appreciate your family for giving of the time they give to allow you to do this. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Governor Andy Beshear.
All right, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
If it looks like I'm beaming, I am. It's for two really great reasons. Number one, I am an unabashed fan and supporter of Family Scholar House. I see the lives that it's changed, and my family and I have volunteered there for, I think, almost a decade. And second, this is the first chance I've had to be in Hardin County since we announced that it's going to become the electric vehicle battery capital of the United States. Start with this program, and then maybe we'll talk a little bit about that too. But today, it is great to be here celebrating something that is going to be an enormous success. Celebrating at a time where it's Apprenticeship Week, and also celebrating at a time because yesterday I proclaimed November 15th through the 19th Family Engagement in Education Week in the Commonwealth. And where do we see that better than all the wraparound services and the way that Family Scholar House is able to lift up families, not just to provide an education oftentimes to the parent, but to change the perception of education and ensure that change that is made with every single individual is generational change that occurs thereafter. The Beshear family didn't have the honor of a Family Scholar House, but we have seen how one breakthrough in education from one generation changes every one thereafter. See, my dad grew up in this small town called Dawson Springs in Hopkins County. His dad was a preacher and swept enough floors to take over as the funeral home director. And he used the dollars that he was able to make to send his kids as the first generation to college. That didn't just change my dad and his brother and his sister's lives. It forever changed every generation thereafter, including mine. So every single one of us now owes a debt of gratitude to folks like you who persevere through and set a new expectation for your children and the generations that come after. Mine is an administration that will always put education first, right? It's what we have to embrace, to break cycles of poverty. It's a way that people can better their lives, and it's a way where we can grab a hold of our own destiny as a state, to break through all those barriers, to ensure that we never have a ceiling again on the progress that we can make. And I want to tell every educator here how much I appreciate you. These last 19 months, they've been hard. They've been hard on everybody in the Commonwealth. And we just had a memorial service because we've lost over 10,000 of our friends and neighbors, and I know this county and this region have been hit hard. So we've had feelings of grief. All of us probably still processing them and will for years to come. We've had stress, wondering what our lives are going to be like, sacrifice of living for one another more so than we ever have, because we are all interconnected in such a fundamental way. But our educators have stepped up. Now, for you, what we've asked has changed and changed a number of times. But you have not complained. You have done your best. You have persevered. When we had to go to online learning, you did that. When we were able to put you first in line to get the vaccine, you stepped up, you got it, and you let Kentucky be one of the first states to have all of its K through 12 and all of its higher education institutions back and in person. How good does that feel? And making sure that we put education first does require that we put this pandemic in our rearview mirror. How many of you are ready to get past this? Yeah. So that means we got to keep our work up. We got to keep working to get more people vaccinated, to be patient, to be kind in the way we talk about it, and now to get boosted. We know that this thing is not done with us. It's showing us that in Europe. But we also know what it's like when our immunity is at that highest level, like right after we got those second shots and our cases plummeted. We do have power and control in the tools we have. And as the dad of an 11-year-old, now that 5 through 11-year-olds can get vaccinated, we need to have fact-driven conversations with parents to let them know that's how our kids, my daughter, get their lives back to normal. Putting education first is exactly what this institution that we are in right now does. Elizabethtown Community and Technical College is a great institution that helps save lives. And this partnership with Family Scholar House is going to make sure that it can do so much more. Because a community college, an institution like this, can try its hardest. But the extra services, the extra love, the extra attention that Family Scholar House can bring mean that more students will reach success. And especially those students that are struggling the most with other parts of life that you cannot ignore, like your kids and your health and those transportation needs. I have seen this program in action. I have volunteered for it for so long, and we bring our kids to the events. They have grown up with the kids in Family Scholar House. I have seen the graduates go on to be amazing authors, motivational speakers. I've gotten to introduce them at recent speeches. It is a special thing to watch lives transformed, trauma turned into triumph. And for ECTC, there's a lot of acronyms in what I do. I mean, with 5,700 students enrolled, that gives us an opportunity to have 5,700 successes, where everybody counts, where we fight to make sure every single student not only gets through, but finds success after that diploma. Each of the students that are in this program are going to see their work pay off, just like everybody else who graduates pays off. Folks, we need to graduate more Kentuckians from institutions like this and others. Amen. This is what it means. Graduates from here will earn 18.3% higher yearly salaries than those simply with a high school diploma, receiving an average annual salary of $42,600. For every dollar spent on our community college education, students can earn back $4.80. So I'm here to tell you my next recommended budget is going to have more money for post-secondary education. If I can brag on your institution for a minute.
Well, yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, really innovative. adapting to the times. The Coding Academy, here in response to critical shortage in coding talent that supports operations like those at Fort Knox. Fort Knox is depending on this institution just like we depend on those that come through Fort Knox. There's also a CDL program desperately needed, providing great salaries to the graduates, and bless you, to nursing programs, which we desperately need more nurses. And this partnership says it is going exactly in the right direction. That this institution understands its mission, and it understands a talented organization when they see it. I gotta tell you, Kathy Dykstra is the real deal. I don't know many human beings. I'm not sure I know any human beings better than Kathy and her family. I've watched Kathy protect the children in her institutions. She and my wife just went to a football game of one of her graduates' kids, a promise that she had made and that Brittany had made. It is truly incredible. And I want to thank everybody in the community that has come together to support this. Both Baptist Health Hardin, oh my goodness, what incredible work in the most difficult of times. I want to thank Baptist Health Hardin for their support of this partnership, but I want to thank you for caring for us the most difficult time a hospital has ever seen. And I want to thank Nucor, another partner, who is building an incredible facility that helped put us on the map, one of the largest economic development projects that we have ever seen, that is already creating other manufacturing centers and drawing people to us. I think we have a representative here today, but I know this region is so much better for the Nucor investments. Thank you all. I gotta tell you, we have lived through tough times, and it's a historically tough time. But we are moving into another historic time. And it is one of brightness and of optimism. It is one where we as a state have more potential and are seeing more opportunity than many of us ever thought was possible. We have entered the phase where Kentucky will never be a flyover state ever again, where no one is ever going to be able to look down their nose at us ever again. And at a time where if any other state wants to keep making fun of our accents, we're going to go steal their jobs too. It was just a month ago that we passed a record that added a zero that no one thought was possible. This state this year has now surpassed over $10 billion in new economic investment. It is incredible. And it's been just about 7 weeks since we announced the largest economic development investment in the history of the Commonwealth of Kentucky at nearly $6 billion and 5,000 new jobs. The Blue Oval SK Battery Park is coming right here to Hardin County. We got a lot of people in this room that I've had an opportunity to thank at different times, but I got to do it while we are here. First of all, our state legislators that are here. Senator Parrott, Representative Duplessis, and Tate, thank you. When we got together in that special session and we passed Senate Bill 5, it gave the confidence for those partners to say yes. Thank you for working together with us and others, for putting all the differences aside, and for landing the biggest investment this community has ever seen. Thank you all. Your local leadership here was incredible in the process. County Judge Executive Harry Berry, Mayor Jeff Gregory, Rick Games, and everybody at the Elizabethtown Hardin County Industrial Foundation. You ought to be really proud of the work we did. And he also learned we're pretty good at keeping a secret. So, but I just want to take 1 second because we can get caught up in the numbers, right? And we can get caught up in the jobs, which is a great thing. But I think that announcement and this role we're on and Nucor's selection of this region just years before says something profound about us as a people that I do not want to get lost. And when we were making this announcement, remember, this isn't a startup, right? Oklahoma gave $400 million to a startup in this area. This is Ford Motor Company. They are number 9 on the Fortune 500 list. They're the largest employer of Americans in the country. And when Henry Ford Jr. was in my office, that is the great-grandson of Henry Ford. Now, he didn't introduce himself that way. If he had, I would have said, I'm Steve Beshear's son. Nice to meet you. But when he was in there, he said 2 things that really caught my attention. He said, number 1, Andy, this is the biggest step in the automotive industry since the Model T. And the second thing he said is, this is our company's biggest investment ever, and we're making it in your state. And that's when it hit me. And I think Nucor would say the same, that they were betting their company. The number 9 on the Fortune 500 list was betting their company. The largest employer of Americans was betting their company. And folks, who did they bet it on and who did they bet it with? The people of the Commonwealth of Kentucky in this community. You ought to be incredibly proud of yourself. And so what we are doing here today goes part and parcel with the opportunity in front of us. I believe that we now have a chance for one of the greatest eras of prosperity all around this state that we have ever seen. An opportunity to lift everybody up, to make sure it reaches every region, and what we're making sure today is it reaches every family. Because the great lesson of COVID is everybody counts. And that if we don't ensure that everybody shares, everybody has opportunity, then we can't lift this entire state up. Every part of the state, every part of every city within our state. I believe that we have an incredible responsibility as we move forward to make sure that we get this historic moment right. And let me tell you, with this announcement, with this partnership, you are getting it right. And we have a chance to make sure that 3 years of great prosperity turn into 30 years. It's everything from great investments we've made together with the American Rescue Plan Act dollars in broadband and water and sewer, and there's another round coming, to making sure we spend this historic infrastructure money in the right way. We have a chance, Judge. We have a chance to look back 30 years from now and say this was the moment it all changed. And in doing so, I think we can reach a collective dream. Because in Kentucky, we may come from different regions, but I'm convinced every parent, every grandparent shares the same dream. That our kids never have to leave this state or the community they grew up in because they don't believe every opportunity is available for them. Now is our chance to realize that for every generation after us. So we say our time is here. Our future is now. It is our responsibility to grab our destiny. And with this announcement, your community is not only on fire, it has taken the steps to make sure that your growth happens in the right way and continues for decades. We are really proud of y'all. Thank you very much.
Because I can pretend like I get a standing ovation too as you all get up to leave. You know, reminded of one of my favorite definitions of success. It's when that success occurs when opportunity meets preparation. And you know, we as a community have been preparing for this moment for a long time, well, 20 years in fact, you know, in concert with the legislation and the Commonwealth. And we've been preparing for this step by step a long time. This partnership is as big a part of the preparation for what is coming in the next 20, 30, 50-year future of our region as anything that we as a college have done. Because this partnership ensures success for every individual and every family that crosses the doors of the Family Scholar House or even just picks up the phone and calls. The opportunity is there. Often there are so many barriers to the preparation that students can't succeed. This partnership is going to remove those barriers and help those students prepare to take advantage of their opportunity, which is going to lead to their success and is going to lead to our success. The mission of this college is to add value to our students' lives and return that value to our community. Family Scholar House shares that mission, and through this work, we're going to add a lot of value to a lot of lives, and look forward to working with you all to help maximize this partnership. And we're going to keep changing lives. We're going to change them for the better. And this region is going to be a spotlight and a beacon for an entire Commonwealth and an entire nation for a long time to come. I really appreciate you all being here. I look forward to seeing what's next, and you all get ready for the ride, because it's going to be a good one.